Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi there, and welcome to New Life Live. Really glad you're here, wherever you are. We're loving getting to spend a little time with you. Hope that something we say might impact you in your life. Joining me today, Dr. Jill Hubbard, right there on the, you can see this on our New Life Live YouTube channel. Hi, Jill.
Hi, everybody. Hi, guys.
And Chris Williams is right there, and Chris and I are going to be doing something really soon. It's our Emotional Freedom Workbook. So let's just talk about this.
Workbook or
I'm sorry, workshop.
Yes.
And it's based on
where
the
you use the workbook.
Sorry about that. Okay, so a lot of people, especially in the church, they just ignore the mental, we could say the mental side of health. It's all spiritual or it's all physical, no mental. What are the consequences when we don't pay attention to what's going on mentally within ourselves and our family?
Well, let's use the metaphor of a car. Okay. So a car has a dashboard that gives us all kinds of really important information. And once in a while, a red light with a symbol will come on that tells us we need to take care of something. That is like our emotional life, our mental life. And so if we're experiencing something like, let's say, a lot of fatigue or a lot of sleeplessness or a lot of doom and gloom thinking, our lights are flashing, and if we don't pay attention to it, our engine will continue to break down. It will continue to slow down, and it will have tremendous consequences.
Right.
My first car was a Chevy Chevette, and I didn't know how to take care of a car. And the oil light came on. I thought, no big deal. And as a result, I seized the engine on my first car.
Okay, I did that too.
So I'm not the only one. So,
you're not.
So judgment-free, shame-free zone here.
Yes.
But in all seriousness, our mental and emotional health is the same way. If we ignore it for too long, we are going to suffer consequences in other and most likely all areas of our life.
And there are people that mentally, smoke's coming out of their ears like smoke out of the mufflers on a car, and you're thinking, if I just run faster, the smoke won't catch up. It's coming from within you, and so you're never going to outrun it. You got to do something about it. And here's one thing: you just call and say, I need to check this out. I just need to see what somebody else thinks about what I'm going through. That's an amazing first step. Now let's go over here. Let's just get involved with our phones right here, and let's go to Sue from Detroit, Michigan. Speaking of automobiles, many have been made there. Hello, Sue. How are you today?
Hello. Very happy to talk to you guys and gals.
Yeah, what's going on?
I called in June before. My daughter and her husband of less than a year. They would be married 2 years this coming week, actually, but she ended up not leaving, and I wanted to know how to handle her situation last summer. And, of course, it happened again. This young man that she was married to has a lot of military background and not good, doesn't take medicine, things like that. But this time I'm calling because she has left. It's been over a month. And she is determined she's not going to back. But my little granddaughter, who's 6, has been acting a little different, which she would. She had a step-sibling a little bit older than her and another one, a teen, and, of course, she misses all that. And I've been trying to tell my daughter that
Hold on. I've got to go to this break, but we'll get right back to you. Music's playing. I can't stop it. We'll be right back, and we'll try to help you here. You're listening to New Life Live, and we're glad that you are.
After I found the pornography on the internet, I said you either get help or I have to leave this household.
Every day, thousands of women discover their husband is struggling with sexual integrity. And since shelter-in-place orders have gone into effect, traffic to porn sites has skyrocketed. New Life's Every Man's Battle workshop can help.
Every Man's Battle, I fought it the whole week with my wife. Within 2 hours, you could have opened a book. It showed me where my life has been ever since I was a little boy.
The Every Man's Battle workshop can be a trip to the sexual addiction emergency room. During this time of social distancing, the Every Man's Battle workshop will be held online Saturday, March 6th. Find sexual integrity, accountability, and connection. Register now to reserve a place at the Every Man's Battle online workshop. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
He said, this may have saved my life.
Every Man's Battle was a life-changing experience for me and a marriage-saving experience for me.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-NEWLIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back. So we're talking with Sue, and marriage of the daughter is not working out. So anything else we need to know about it, Sue?
Well, my presenting question is, I heard you talking a few weeks ago, and I believe Marlon was on then, and you gave a very excellent example of how important it is for children to understand a little bit, even if the things are bad.
Yeah.
Why they're leaving, and I would love to. My daughter knows I'm calling. She's waiting with bated breath to hear, because my little granddaughter's got questions, and
yeah,
of course she's got her own father and all that family system thing going on too.
Well, here's the first question: how abusive is this? Is the little 6-year-old's dad? I mean, does he yell? Does he push, shove?
This is a stepfather.
Stepfather. Okay.
And there's never been any physical aggression that I know of, and my daughter says there has been none. However, every time he forgets to take meds and things, he goes right south and tells her he doesn't want to be married to her anymore. I don't love you anymore. I never did love you. He's had 2 outside of marriage situations that have happened, and she's just my daughter's hanging on by a thread, but she knows she can't go back. Yeah.
Well, I would be saying this. I would, with the 6-year-old, that, Mommy and your stepdad, we really hoped for good things and we worked toward good things, but nothing seems to have made things better between us. And so it like many things, it's just not working out. It's not going to work out. And I'm so sorry that you have to go through this, but we're going to go through it together, and I'm going to take care of you, and we're going to be okay. It's going to be okay, but I'm just not able to stay here with him. You've heard him yelling and things, and that's just not a good way to be. So we're going to have to leave, or he's going to have to leave, whatever it is. Just be very simple about it, but be sure that you give her the confidence that it's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really important.
What do you guys think?
I think that's really important because kids are egocentric and they are dependent. So they need to know that they are safe and that there is some adult that's in charge. I think first, though, I would want to ask your granddaughter, what are her thoughts about what's going on? What is she aware of? What is her summation of the situation? Because she may already know a lot. And then you can, fill in a little bit about, from mom's perspective of, simply why this isn't working out like Steve outlined.
I think that's really good. Ask her about it. Yeah, that's wonderful.
And get her to talk also about how she feels about it, and you validate her feelings in the midst of it. It's not just convincing her that this is the right decision, No, you want to hear that there's going to be some loss here for her,
Mm-hmm.
and that you're sad too about that.
And Sue,
She has told her some of that.
yeah,
Okay.
and that's again really important that your granddaughter has a safe place to express herself and be honest with what she's experiencing the best way that she can at 6 years old. I'm going to change the focus just a little bit here, and this is just as things move forward. Especially since your daughter is listening, I want you to hear this from a place of compassion, nothing in condemnation here whatsoever. But your daughter's picker is broken, and so she doesn't quite understand how to choose the right guy for her and for her situation and for her daughter. And so I would just encourage her to get into a good marriage and family therapist that would know, or a relationship counselor that would really help her understand what goes on inside of her, in which she keeps picking Mr. Wrong.
Well, because this one went south pretty quickly.
She's
Yeah.
already involved in that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Already involved in that.
Yeah.
Good. That's
and
really
she
good.
inherits some of this because she saw it as she was growing up with me.
Okay.
Okay.
I picked the wrong men.
Well, and Sue, that's good for you to own with her and ask her how it felt for her growing up.
Absolutely.
Right? Because that insight of her own feelings will help her with her daughter.
But I think rather than this be traumatic, I think the conversation, finally saying what this 6-year-old is aware of, finally talking about it, is probably going to provide her some relief in all of this. She'll be grateful that something's going to happen versus things just get worse and worse if you handle it right. The other thing is not to have one conversation, but to plan on, day or two, whatever, and give her the freedom. And then,
Invite
that
her
evening,
to come
say,
back
okay,
anytime.
So this morning we had a conversation. I'm just wondering what you're thinking about that and what you've thought about that now that you've had some time. And not shut her down at all. All right. Glad that you called. Thanks for, I know that you tried a few days to get through, and I'm really glad that you persevered there. Let's go to Dave. Stafford, Virginia is where he's calling from. Hi, Dave. How are you today? WAVA's the station. What's going on?
I'm good. I was listening to your show one time, and there was a lady on there who was talking about her roommate who was going through issues with neuropathy and all that.
Yeah.
I've got arthritis in my knees, and I know this probably won't fix her problem, but instead of turning away from God, you got to go to God. I get up every morning and I pray to God for the pain in my knees, because I could have the alternative. I could not have any pain in my knees. I could not have any legs. I could be in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And I feel blessed that I'm able to walk every day, even though it hurts a little bit. But you got to carry on, and it's not really that God put that pain there. It's something that happened.
Yeah, God didn't put it there, but He didn't prevent it either, and yeah.
And you're right, that could cause shooting pains.
Yeah.
Stabbing pains.
And he blesses people. They put them in your path that can help you with these problems. Doctors and people that are talented enough to be able to help you with it.
Yeah.
He blesses you in those ways. He doesn't heal you. He heals you internally, not externally. Externally, he puts people in your path that can heal you. And she needs to realize that. Don't turn away from him. She needs to go to him.
Yeah.
All right, I appreciate that a lot.
And I think, Dave, you mentioned something really important. We have the verse that he binds up the brokenhearted. And a lot of times our focus, and rightfully so, is on our physical pain. But, here at New Life, we do a lot of focus on our heartaches, what I call our brokenhearted stories, and our emotional pain. And so really, as we continue to go to God, and there's other professionals, obviously, on the show, we're part of that profession that helps, guide the process towards healing. But that much of God's work is an internal job. and He's creating new people and renewing our hearts daily as we continue to seek Him. And it sounds like you've utilized your physical pain not to turn away from God, but to turn towards God and just let God do His work inside of you.
And I would just say this: someone who might not be able to just do it the way you have, well, that you're not hopeless. You just have to bring some other people around you that can encourage you and help you do some things that you're not able to do on your own. And that's what, the healthy church, that's what it is for. I'm going to send you Every Man's Bible, just thanking you for calling. But all of us in our struggle, and it's really interesting how sometimes in the most painful times when we need God the most, we're kind of inclined to turn our back on God. But he understands that, and He's waiting for us to come right back to Him. And let's do it. I mean, it sure beats struggling without the power of God. Let's go to, how about Coco, Silver Springs, Maryland, I believe it is, and another WAVA listener. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. I really appreciate you taking my call. I, too, am a returning caller for one of the same issues. I talked back to you back in September, I think it was, and you all gave me some phenomenal counseling. I got the books on maturity and some other things, and I got books on... and I must say, I didn't dot all my I's and cross all my T's. My spouse did get out of prison in September, and I ended up adhering to his sob story, letting him come stay with me, supposed to have been temporary, and yet he's still here. And recently, I was up late night a couple of days ago reading my Bible, and I kept hearing this dinging sound coming from his phone. His room is across from my room. And I went to hear what it was, and in his bathroom, he had his phone plugged up, and it kept on being notifications from a porn site. Well, needless to say, I brought it to his attention that, it made me feel very uncomfortable. There were some other things going on, and I felt the need to reach out to a couple therapists. We just started therapy about 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks into the therapy, he's already showing up late, things of this nature. And now I find this porn site on his phone saying, log in, where are you, and all this, a chat site, it's Instagram and Facebook.
We get it.
So I'm wondering, I approached him. He said that I was a nosy snooper. He's going to put a block on his phone. I'm insecure. The thing that bothers me most is that he got directly in my face, eyeball to eyeball. He's 6'4", I'm 5'1", and so he stooped over to get in my face and like nose to nose to, I guess, intimidate me. I could feel his hot breath on my face, and then he brushed me with his body. I felt really bad about it because I felt it was antagonistic. What do I do?
Let me help.
I took my key back.
Let me help you.
Okay.
Some people go to prison. It's a horrible place to go. It's evidence that whatever I've been doing, it's not good. They go, they see the situation, and they humbly get involved in a recovery group there, a Bible study, whatever, and they come out and they're a different person. You don't need to know anything else but that he's not a different person. So you need to separate from him, and you need to protect yourself. There is nothing in couples therapy that's going to change him. He must change on his own, separate from you, just like we said before. We didn't know whether he had changed or not, obviously. Now you need to say to yourself, I don't need any more evidence. He is not a changed man. I must protect myself. We must be separated. Now, when you ask him to leave, you might have to have somebody else there with you to prevent him from getting physical with you.
No, my family, when they heard of what happened, I reached out to a family member. she reached out to my brother. I didn't want her to tell my brother. She's my brother's girlfriend. But I felt the need to let someone know what had happened. Yeah. And my brother got wind of it, and he said, put him on. Is he there now? I said, yeah. He said, I want you to get up, get your things, whatever you can take right now on your back, and give my sister. You love my sister. You say you love my sister. Give my sister her key right now. And my brother intervened. I felt like, why is he being so aggressive with him? I didn't understand the level of danger I was in, because my brother said, I've seen dudes like this. This is not good. This is not healthy. This could end your life. You're in danger. And I need you to get in an Uber and go to our mom's house. And I need you to do that now. And I'm like, why am I leaving my house?
I like that guy.
Oh, but your brother was
I love
spot
your brother.
on.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, what do you do?
My baby brother. And he told me, get in a vehicle and leave the premises now and do it now.
Good.
And I did. He said, pack an overnight bag, Super Bowl weekend, just tell him, I'm going to hang out with my mom Super Bowl weekend, blah, blah, blah.
All right. We'll talk a little bit more right after this.
I came into this thinking that my husband was the cause of many of our issues.
The New Life Intimacy and Marriage Workshop will be held online Saturday, February 13th.
But after learning about our attachment styles, I understood how our past hurts were playing into our present problems.
Join Steve Arterburn.
It's been a dream of mine for a long time to help people to grow more intimately together, and we believe that everybody has room to grow in the intimacy level of their life.
And Milan and Kay Yurkovich.
We help couples understand how their attachment style is sabotaging their current relationship, and then we teach them how to create comfort in a relationship.
To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or go to newlife.com.
Here at this workshop, we had our first ever conversation without yelling, blaming, and accusing.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of 7 books, including Growth Has No Boundaries by Drs. John Townsend and Henry Cloud, Take Your Life Back by Steve Arterburn and Dr. Dave Stoop, and the Emotional Freedom Workbook. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back, and we're really sad because we're dealing with a guy that went to prison. Not much change going on, and you had to get in the car like your wonderful brother told you to do. Chris, you had a question.
Yeah, I do. Coco, are you or him back in the house?
I'm back in my house. I came the next day after the Super Bowl Sunday, so I've been here since yesterday.
And is he there?
No, he showed up at my house last night asking if I was going to give him a key back. I was going to, let him back in. And I was like, no. And then he was like, well, is it really over? Da-da-da-da. And he tried to intimidate me. And he was like, well, let me just help you move your things and straighten the house before I leave. He got really mad that I wouldn't let him back in my house, kick my car and all of this, and so he's showing signs of aggression that I didn't see before,
Right.
Well,
and but I alerted my neighbor that if you see him in the neighborhood, I gave her my telephone number on both. I'm a minister, so both my minister's telephone number and my personal cell phone number she has. If you see him in the neighborhood,
that's good. Let me jump in. Let me jump in. He is dangerous not just with his attitude and with his behaviors, but he's locked into his addiction. Hear me say this crystal clearly. He is not in his right mind. What Steve was telling you, what your brother was telling you, what Jill is telling, what I am telling you, the biggest issue right now is your ability to follow through with a hard no to him and his addiction and his dangerous behavior. You have to get yourself protected as quickly and strongly as possible against him.
I would get a restraining order, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Steve. That's good.
I think it's the least you can do.
And Coco, the evidence here, because I remember when you called and we thought maybe he had changed in prison. And, you did need time to see evidence of that, not living together. And you admitted that you didn't listen to that and you let him back in. So the evidence, though, that when you confront him about things, he gets in your face and blames you and your insecurity because he's got an addiction and he's acting out, that's just right there alone.
It's gaslighting,
It's gaslighting. Yeah. And that he's not taking responsibility, and as Chris said, he's full bore in his addiction, and that's pretty powerful. Addictions are powerful. So helping him by setting these boundaries, helping yourself, but it also helps him to have these strong boundaries.
So we say restraining order, don't let him get near you.
Right.
Now, here's what happens. Then he has to go away, find a way to survive. Maybe something happens and he gets help finally, and you'll know that later. He'll come back and then you'll have some kind of chance. But you must not give in to anything he wants you to do, because he will continue to try to contact you, wear you down. That's not going to help him get better. Him living with you does not solve anything. All right, let's go to Darlene. Fort Fairfield is WFSD. Hi there. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
What's going on? How can we help you?
I'm not very good at conversation.
Okay.
But I have a stepson that has been on drugs for years, a lot of drugs. But the last couple of years, we keep sending him because he does these crazy things, and we keep sending him to the emergency room, and they keep him, they're sick and tired of him coming there. He's gone out. The demon told him to go to our bank in town, and he tried to get in the door when they were closed, so they got to him on the camera for that. Then he tried to rob a convenience store, but he gave them the knife. And then he went back to the bank with his little knife. It's more for attention, I believe, than trying to rob the bank.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
How does he afford living and drugs and all that he's doing there?
Well, I don't think he's been on drugs for a couple of years, because every time that he's gone to the emergency room, they've tested him, and they say there's no drugs.
Okay.
But I don't know if he's opened his mind to Satan, or if there's mental illness on both his father and his real mother side of the family.
So what's the question for us then? How could we? What were you hoping we could do? Okay.
He got out of jail from those instances. I think there's still something pending.
Right.
But
so, Darlene,
he started staying at his...
Has he been evaluated for mental illness?
Oh, yeah, well, I guess I'm just trying to find out what it is now. I guess there's PSD, and then there's a couple of other things. The psychologist was supposed to call me back, but she hasn't. And he cannot be out. They say, they can't send him anywhere because he's not suicidal or he's not in danger. Well, he's in danger to himself. Now he's seeing angels, and they play with Goliath. And, he's gone.
Very unstable, and needs proper care and medication, and there's no one that can influence him. He's pretty much out there. So we'll try to give you a little bit of help right after this. You're listening to New Life Live, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. If you need some help, we want to help you. We really do, but you have to call.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit its addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here. You know, I just get so frustrated over these situations, and I just want more to be done. I want the community to step up. I want them to take care of their folks. You know, he was, as Terry McIntosh pointed out, he had a knife. He's threatening to other folks. He should be in some kind of locked up situation. Chris, Jill,
yes.
What do you think is her best hope here?
Well, I think it starts exactly with what you said, Steve, and that is he sounds like he's dealing with a very severe mental illness.
Right.
And he needs, at the highest of levels. I mean, this is a obviously crisis level. And so he needs the best psychiatric help possible. And I would start knocking on all kinds of doors as far as that help goes. Darlene, you're in Maine, is that correct?
She's not on.
Oh, she's not on.
Okay.
But yes.
But just south of her, some of the best psychiatric care, it can be found in Boston. And so, again, I would start researching this. There's other facilities throughout the country.
I mean, it sounds like there's some mental health workers involved, but I think it needs to be upped,
yes,
right? Like,
absolutely.
why is he not on medication?
Exactly.
That would curb a lot of this behavior,
exactly.
perhaps, right? And then why isn't he living in a board and care and is on disability that would help pay for that? And there would be someone to monitor his meds.
Yes.
Right? Because he is needing help. He may even need a guardianship.
Yes,
right?
yes,
a conservator, because he doesn't sound like he's in his right mind to handle his own life.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
So and by the way, and I'm going to send her a copy of Take Your Life Back. I hope that is helpful. It's got some great concepts that he would benefit from. But here's the thing. I admire first responders. I don't want to be that. I don't want it to feel like we're the first people that get asked what to do. You know, that I want you to call us, but surely, locally, county mental health, city,
right,
state, there are resources right there that could help, and we want you to try to push whoever is enabling to get the person that's in trouble.
And
connected to some
NAMI
resources.
would be a good organization too.
Yeah.
National
they
Alliance
know.
Mental Illness.
They know from the people that they're helping who the folks that they're related to are going to, and they know the network.
Well, and they have groups for family members as
Yes,
well
that's right. Yeah.
of the mentally ill
Right.
that can help you navigate this.
I'm not going to say, speaking of mentally ill, I'm not going to do that because he's not. But
Perfect
but
segue.
Larry Sonnenberg is with us in the studio. Larry, what do you have for us today, my friend?
Well, we're coming up on Restore Workshop on the 27th.
Yes.
And a lady recently wrote this letter to us. She said, I attended the Restore Workshop after wanting to go for quite some time due to betrayals that I've experienced. The main sessions were enlightening. One of the sessions discussed the patterns that cause men to act out. It gave me understanding about how hurts and triggers might cause this in my husband. Healing work was done in the small groups. I came to care for the women in my group and they for me. We were able to minister to each other in our individual healing. This is not to say our healing is complete, but a foundational step was taken.
Yes.
I want to thank those who contributed to the scholarship fund and encourage women that they are worth it to attend this workshop. It's something that would benefit any woman, especially with the high percentage of men who are looking at porn and lusting after women.
That's great, Larry. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, ladies, you're worth it. It's harder to get the women to come to this than it is the men to every man's battle, and I understand that. You think it's his problem. But you're hurting, and it's not because you've contributed to what they did. Please don't misunderstand us on that. But it's because the pain that you have had, and probably have some pain in your past as well. This can help you. And folks, if you're thinking of making a gift anywhere these days, please make a gift to New Life. We can help the women who are coming to restore, the men who are coming to every man's battle. Lives change. God makes it happen. The Holy Spirit gets the credit. We're just stepping stones to help people get pointed in the right direction, take those first steps, which are being blessed by God. And
well, let me just say this. Some people might wonder, well, when you help somebody like this, what does it help them do? Well, they go from being full of shame and isolated and not talking to anybody about what's happening to them to having other people. Now they're open. They've been open during the workshop. Now they're more willing to be open or find counseling, and it begins a transformation process for them, and they take their lives back. They really become different people, no matter what he does. But so often we've seen him make the change to turn it around, and they both can heal together.
Well, and Larry, like you mentioned, they get a different understanding of the problem.
Yeah, they do.
Right?
And the group process. She said she's got women now that care for her.
Yeah.
And most women come very isolated.
Yes.
So it's a big deal. So thank you so much.
Yeah. 1-800-NEW-LIFE if you can help us, or if you need some help. It goes both ways, and we really are so grateful for our supporters here. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. All right, let's go to Maria from Portland, Oregon. Hi, Maria. How are you today? And thanks for calling us. What's going on?
Doing well. Thank you very much. I appreciate you taking my call.
Sure.
And I'd like to know, what can my son do to help my granddaughter, my 15-year-old granddaughter? She's pretty much out of control. She's disrespectful. She doesn't obey her dad's authority. She lies about practically everything. She tells some very outrageous lies. She steals things from his bedroom. She takes things without permission and gives them to other people. She took something expensive and shipped it along with other gifts to her boyfriend in another state, that she's having this well, it's more than an online relationship.
Okay, so what has her father done? What has her father done about this horrible situation?
He has to go to court just to get
get the court to order her mother to sit down and have mediation with him, because she always refused to meet with him regarding anything about the kids. They have 50-50 custody. So in order for him to take her to a counselor he'd like to take her to, the mother would have to sign also. And she refuses to do that. So eventually she finally took my granddaughter to counseling. My son had to sign off and give in just so that, to make sure that my granddaughter would get some kind of counseling. The first one was an elderly man, and my granddaughter couldn't relate to him, so she never spoke to him. What they were doing was, whenever she'd come, he would wind up playing Uno with her, trying to get her to warm up to him, but that never happened.
Right.
So there have been several. But my granddaughter experienced a terrible tragedy, sexual assault. And she was trying to get into a relationship with someone before that, and was planning to have a sexual rendezvous to give her virginity to someone. That was
let me ask you a question.
spoiled, but
Let me ask you this: Is there any? Are there any financial resources available to you or your son?
My son, I have nothing to offer, but my son does. But he's already spent a large amount of money to get to hire an attorney, to get to court, just to have the judge order this woman to sit down to mediation.
Yeah.
And
well, the young girl needs to be in a program. Right. She needs to be sent away to a program where they can help her. It won't be a short-term program, but there are programs all around. There's one near Nashville that actually doesn't charge. There's a waiting list, but she really needs some intensive help.
See, I know that, and I've talked to him about that, but he's afraid to have her sent away and lose her. But
well, he's already losing her.
Yeah,
Maria, he's already losing her, and she's angry at him. Yeah. So she needs a strong dad, a strong but loving dad.
And now she blames him for divorcing her mom, but the mother was having an affair, accusing him of having an affair. But it all came out that she was the one having an affair, even though she was constantly accusing him.
Okay.
All of her family and everyone knows it now. But the other point is she was having an affair with a teenager just out of high school.
So none of that's going to help us. What's going to help is he's going to have to admit that he's lost this girl and be willing to take a different approach to get her the kind of treatment. Maybe we can help you find something. We'll be back right after this.
I feel blessed to have had this opportunity for my needs to be met, connecting with other women who are fighting the same fight, hoping for healthy marriages and growing closer to the Lord on their journey.
My name is Shelly Martinkus, and I want to personally invite you to the Restore Workshop. If you have been affected by betrayal, it might be that your husband has been looking at pornography, it might be an emotional, physical affair. I would love for you to come join us.
I feel encouraged and hopeful that even in my struggle, I am enough.
You will leave with hope, with a community of sisters ready to support you, and you will also leave with tools to move you forward on this journey.
Through the sharing in our small group, I realize that I am not alone.
Please don't hesitate. Pick up the phone, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I would love to see you there.
The Restore Workshop is being held online Saturday, February 27th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back. Glad you're with us here. And boy, these hopeless situations. Chris mentioned a resource that might be able to help, and we will tell you about that. Chris, we'll get that.
Yeah, we'll get that information to her, definitely. Yeah.
But at some point, the dad has to say, okay, what I've done hasn't helped. I've got to do something different. I've lost her. I might lose her even more, but she might, in the process, find some hope and some healing. And that's what we would love to see happen. So,
and I think that by utilizing these programs, or sometimes our children have to be sent somewhere, it can feel like a punishment or a loss. But if our child was suffering from cancer and we needed to send them to a specialist outside of our area to get the treatment that they needed, we would do everything we can.
Absolutely, even if they said no way.
Yes,
right?
And this is a similar situation. This is a life-threatening situation where she has definite symptoms of complex PTSD.
Yeah.
And that is very severe. So we're going to get her to the professionals who can actually treat this life-threatening condition and have this family support around her.
Right. And initially, she's going to be very angry at Dad.
Yes.
Right? And Dad, I think, is the safe one in this family
dynamic. And that's
dynamic.
why he gets the anger, because he is the safe one.
Yes, absolutely.
She's already angry at him.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I'm really glad that she called, and let's try to see what we can do here. Let's go over here to Mike. Hi, Mike. How are you today? What's going on?
I admit it's been really tough times, but I'm doing okay today.
Okay. What's going on?
I was unfaithful. To my wife. Kind of throughout our marriage, different ways with porn, emotional affairs, physical affairs. We started doing marriage counseling, and in that I started doing sex addiction counseling as well. We did it for like a year, but I was the normal, not normal, but kind of standard addict response to counseling and having to be open and admit things where you just fight it the whole time. We didn't reconcile then, and our divorce was final just last November.
Okay.
So I'm just heartbroken. But during the whole thing, I was just kind of passive and numb because I'm afraid to be open and vulnerable to things. But I found out that she had started a new relationship in December, and I really felt like I hit rock bottom then. And I feel like that broke down any kind of wall that I had up protecting me still. And instead of running from it and acting out, which I've stopped for months now, I asked if we could talk, and there was this just moment of felt like love and grace from God. Through her, where she was graceful to me and reached out, and I just felt intimacy for like the first time in my life, which I know is wrong as long as we're married. But I'd always
so what's
feared
going
it.
on now? What's going on with her now?
She's still in that relationship, and I found out it's actually been going on for 7-8 months. But I know how much heartbreak, hurt I put her through, and I'm just deeply in love with her, and I want to reconcile and work on our marriage because I feel unburdened and free. For as
so
long
what's
as I
the
can
question
remember
for
my
us
life
then?
from the addiction.
What's the question for us?
I just don't want to leave any. I don't want to leave any stone unturned. Anything I can do. We're working on being good friends, all that, and you guys, I respect your show so much and things you say. I want to now just try to be on a good path, be a good, godly man down the road, but then do what I can with her to maybe have one day her heart open up to me again. And
okay, well, let's see what Chris. Let's start with you, Chris. Chris, what do you think would be a good move here?
Mike, I don't know if I have great news for you, man, but I do in the end, and I want you to hear this. The person that you need to reconcile most with is not your ex-wife. It's you. She's in her own confusion. She's in her own hurt and pain and probably trauma. And so though you experienced intimacy, maybe a knowing and an honesty for the first time in your life, that can have its own drug-like effect. Like, she is the sole owner of all the intimacy in the world. But the truth of the matter is I want you to continue to work your recovery for you, and I want you to be able to increase your non-sexual male intimacy in your life. That you are surrounded with a group of guys, and so I do believe, this may not be great news, I do believe, though I want every stone unturned, but she is split in a relationship as well, you are now the other guy. And I don't want you in that situation. So if there is communication with her, it would be, hey, I would love the opportunity to do the hard, long work of repair and reconciliation, but there can't be another guy.
Yes, sir. I've done that, and she is not open to that right now. And I do still go to 2 counselors.
Okay, so
and I do see my pastor at church and in the men's group.
So Mike, then that's super helpful. I'm glad you told me that. So now you have the hard work of grief. She told you her answer.
Yes.
And now you got to go through the loss process, and it's hard, and you need grace, and you need support, and you need people around you to walk you through and comfort you and guide you and give you wisdom as your heart breaks for this lost relationship.
And so I wondered, she started the relationship while we were still in the middle of the storm, and the guy she started with was also in a divorce process. I don't know if his is final.
Uh-huh.
So at times I sit and think, like, well, is this a trauma relationship that she's having because she never got counseling on her own and was signed up for Restore, but then she backed out of that?
So, Mike, that very well could be true. In fact, it makes a lot of sense. And I'm telling you right now, for you, it doesn't matter.
Yes, sir.
Does that
mean work on me, and that's why I want to be that good, godly man.
Yeah. And Mike, you working on you is the best thing you could do for someday maybe her being open or to you having another relationship. Yeah. So as she sees you changing and doing it for you, right? And whether she's in the picture or not, that will speak volumes if and when she's ever open.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the bad news is sometimes we wait too long. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the question. And I'm going to send you a copy of this book, Worthy of Her Trust. But here's the question. Do I use that as an excuse to relapse, or do I use it as an excuse to get even better? Because if it was, like you're saying, some kind of trauma response, then it may not last. Who are you going to be if they break up? It just, you'd want to be everything. But if you're truly recovering, you're not waiting for them to break up. Mm-hmm. You're developing into a godly man of character. Not easy to do. And this is one of those situations where motive determines outcome. If the motive is just to get her back, not going to be good. But if your motive is, I want to finally follow the path that God has before me, well, then some really good things can happen. I'll send you Worthy of Her Trust. It's coming your way. Well, I hope if you're struggling, any of you, you'll join Chris and me for our Emotional Freedom Workshop. It's going to be a great, great experience. And if you are struggling, well, whether you're struggling or not, you could really, really help yourself by going to Restore Hope for a Woman's Heart if you have been hurt by a man who has a sexual integrity problem. Life Recovery Today is every Thursday, 11 o'clock on the NRB Network. Going deeper, 5 p.m. there on Eastern Time every day. Thank you for being with us. Thanks, Jill. Thanks, Chris. We love all of you. Thanks for praying for us, supporting us. 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.